This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge, make your manual. Choo-choo, recording.
Choo-choo.
Hello.
Hello.
Don't include my meta talk. Here's my new thing. We're going to start
Okay.
again in a second, just so you know. So my new thing is when it's a show that starts cold, I do the incomparable thing and I say recording, and that's my way of letting you know the show can start anytime. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I guess this could be the show too. I don't know if you do this. I have compulsive things that I do. Oh my God. I've also got to
Me?
hang on. I got to talk about my technology. Okay. I need to fix
Yeah.
this.
Oh, chill. I'll save it for the after show.
What?
I'll save it for the after show. I take back my noise.
Check.
It was a
check,
happy noise.
Check. Okay, that's less of me. Check. Oh boy. Now this is really boring, but we can talk about it if you want. Oh dear. Oh my God. I'm in 6s and 7s today, Alex. This can be the show if you want. You want this to be the show?
I do want this to be the show, but I want you to qualify. What is a 6 and a 7? What scale is this?
Cha. I'm writing things down because otherwise I'll forget them because I'm at 6s and 7s. Cha.
Oh.
Cha. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about my...
Choo-choo.
It's not what I said. Oh, you're riffing. See, this is a mess.
No, I just like train noises.
This is such a goddamn mess. Check. Okay. Well, to get it out of the way, I have, you know that movie, we use that phrase, the perfect storm. And it's such a lively, oh my God, this has got to be louder. It's such a lively phrase that I think most of us understand. I remember hearing something was a perfect storm, like in that movie where, you know, it's like if one really bad... There's bad meteorology, things that are bad meteorology. There's bad weather things that happen to people and land and whatnot. And sometimes those are really, really a big deal. And then sometimes if you're unfortunate, you'll have two of those things happening that are kind of like creating a synergistic and a very unusual condition. But in the case of what came to be called the perfect storm, there were three of those things. So I feel like, boy, you are still way too loud. How do I change this? I've got a new mnemonic. Instead of pre-PC, I say thee and me. Okay, there we go. There's thee. This is me. Say something, please.
Are my levels still good?
It's not you. It's not you. It's me.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I did just... I used Zoom earlier today.
You sound
This is
louder.
great for the
Oh
show.
my God, you sound louder. But that's because I think I've been noodling. Ugh, this show's a mess.
I mean,
no, we should start
Zoom
over.
is a
This
mess.
terrible.
I used it earlier today.
No, you're missing
this
my
isn't me.
storm.
This
You're not
isn't
understanding
me.
my storm.
All right, what's the storm? I might have a fourth part. Maybe your storm isn't perfect. Maybe I have more to contribute.
You're fucking around. I'm saying the plane's about to hit the ground. You're saying, yeah, I was finding it hard to shuffle the cards on my tray table. And I'm like, no.
I'm sorry.
No.
All right,
it's
my seat back. I'm in the upright position.
Full and
I'm ready.
upright. Full and upright. Upright and locked.
Yeah.
They always say
yes?
everything twice. Full and complete stop. You know? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Me
How
too.
are you?
I'm good.
Oh, you sound great.
Yeah, you know, I'm a 6s and 7s. Oh yeah, 6s and 7s. You got to learn that too. I unintentionally created a perfect storm by semi-intentionally doing several different things. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
We're like, I mean, maybe it's kind of like the way that dogs accidentally turn on an oven. It's a little bit, you know what I mean? Like people blame the dog for oven fires, and maybe like, okay, yeah, the oven is bad. That's one storm. B, you have the sweet precious angel who just wants to know what's happening with the oven and explores it. That's two. But then if you're storing, say, a lot of vintage books and your matchbook collection, for example, on top of the stove, because that's where you like to keep it. You know, John and I like to focus on that third one.
Before the 6s and 7s, keep your chair upright before you go on. What is the dog oven story? We have not talked about this here. I am very familiar with the dog oven story.
Are you keeping track of where we are in the stack? Is this
I
something
don't
that's going to
know.
appeal to? I'm worried. No, I'm not. I'm not doing an "is this good for the show" thing where I make fun of you. I'm very concerned that this show has started very, very badly, and it's completely my fault.
No, but if you're referencing the dog
Well, again, you're
who
not really
set,
answering the questions. When I ask you a question, you start talking about something else. So I wish you
like
wouldn't
you
do
said,
that.
where we are, in the stack. We are
We got
next to
cha
the
cha cha.
dog.
We got cha cha
Who's
cha. We got tech. We got sixes and sevens, and we got the dog. There's a segment. I'm not sure quite how it started, but there's a segment that started on reconcilable differences a while back. I think John brought it to us. I don't remember, but the point of the story is that there's a kind of story where the historic we've noticed this kind of story in the last couple of years, which is that, oh my God, you see a headline and it's like something like dog starts oven fire.
it's worse than officer involved shooting. It's incredible.
This is like a dog involved burning. Now,
Yes.
technically, I think it's a companion involved poor choice of storage, but that's not as pithy. But we kept seeing these stories, and as I said in a recent episode of Rec Diffs, listen, like if you want to have a show about how bad Samsung ovens are and how they shouldn't be so easy to turn on, that's your podcast. John and my podcast is instead to focus on a segment that we call "Stop Blaming the Dog," where there'll be the story and the headline of the story implying that the most important part of the story, the thing you need to know. If you can't read any of this article, we just need you to look at the headline and be aware of a thing that happened, which is that in whatever place, a dog started a fire in somebody's kitchen by turning on the oven. Okay? And I'm going to speak
And
generally.
by somebody, you mean a Winnipeg woman. I think that's
Well,
important to the story.
That's just the latest one. There's some that are worse. Oh, dude. No, there's some that are way worse. That's just the latest one. But yeah. Thank you for listening. In that case, it was a woman in Winnipeg and her sweet precious angel. She has this terrible Samsung stove. That's a different podcast. The point is that there are. It happens that children. It happens that okay. I'm going to put this on passively. It does happen that for a variety of different kinds of reasons, they hold hands. It's so cute.
Oh,
For a variety of kinds of reasons, sometimes an oven is unintentionally turned on to start making heat. And that can be caused by lots of things. One that we've worried about since, before I was born as a little kid, turning on like a burner on the top on the range.
reasonable fear.
Right. I mean, another one is, and this is true, like you could accidentally walk by and kind of, if you're not careful, hit it with your hip and like do it, or like,
Something I have done.
yeah. But one that comes up a lot, like I say, is that a dog caused a fire. The thread that John and I find through the stories that we cover is that the primary feature of the headline is that a dog started a fire. And in the cases that we study, and this could be, a case of, a file drawer effect or whatever. But the ones that we focus on are where once you read down into the article a little bit, there's a role to the fire. The dog may get blamed, but it was often a person who made some kind of an error or some poor choices. Mm-hmm. So one that comes up a lot.
I wouldn't say error. This is there were choices made.
Yeah, in the case of this lady in Winnipeg, and I think this is actually a pretty interesting, as I said on the program, I think it's pretty interesting as the stories go. And I feel terrible for that woman and her terrible Samsung range. But anyways, she didn't know that there'd been this big recall of these Samsung ranges, whatever. And her sweet precious angel one time accidentally turned on the oven. I'll try to make this quick. Sorry.
We can't prove that it was accidental, can we, though? I'm just saying.
Well, she says the dog's dumb. And I say, well, if a dog was smart, he wouldn't turn it on. I mean, I guess it depends on how you measure smartness.
That's why I say we don't know if it was an accident.
Okay, how about this? I don't know if he's smart, but if he were wise, he wouldn't have turned it on.
All right. Yes.
But that's a lot to expect out of a Canadian dog.
True. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then you get down a few paragraphs and you see that there was a book on the range top. So when the oven was turned off and she had gone to work and everything was fine and Buster was at home by himself except for the cat, that Buster had turned on the knob. In other cases, it's stuff like, the dog wants to smell what's cooking or whatever. But in a shocking number of these cases where the dog started the fire, according to the headline, you discover that there was what I will call kindling or other poor choices with the person. So a dish towel, somebody leaves a dish towel on the range when it's turned off. This woman had literally left a book on her range top, and she had a fire. Now, the thing about this headline that makes it extra fun, I don't have it in front of me, but it was that blah, 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 Winnipeg woman's dog starts a kitchen fire. Twice. And we find out later on, this is blah, blah, blah. Now we get to the real nut of this, which is that these Samsung ranges turn on way too easy, and their solutions for fixing it have been lame, and that it happened again. And this is, I think, where the story takes an interesting turn, is it happened a second time. And say, okay, well, what's the deal? I thought you were going to get those knob locks to not lock your knobs. Because, of course, wouldn't you always want to have locks on your knobs, because that'll make it real convenient for everybody. But yeah, Samsung, whatever. They're a successful company from South Korea. Second time, she said, Buster started a fire again. Okay, now listen, in fairness, I had been storing things that were inflammable inside the oven. Now you're asking yourself, oh, is it a book? No, she's not that dumb. No, it was either crackers or potato chips that she had left in the oven. And Alex, would you like to share with our audience? No, this is a person now who has had their supposedly dumb dog, start a fire because she left a book on top of the range. Don't want that to happen again. And the reason so far it's happened twice. The second time it happened, she admitted she'd been storing some chips and like cookies and stuff in the range. Why had she put them in the oven in particular?
Well, because her supposedly dumb dog would have gotten into the food, I believe. So, right? Yeah. She was using it as a
like
cabinet.
Covering your passport with cheese and using it to bait a mousetrap. Yeah. I'm not really sure that's a security measure. So this sweet, precious angel, Buster, a dog sense of smell. You think an oven, you tell me, you think an oven door is going to stop a sweet doggy's sense of smell?
This is where I think maybe he is a dumb dog because he wasn't able to get in. So, she might be right.
That had been a corvid. Right?
I can't get into corvids. I mean, honestly, yes. Honestly, yes.
This is known. We've looked at crows. We've looked at ravens. We've looked at the New Zealand, I think it's called the Kia bird. There are a lot of birds out there that are operating on a level that most people don't even want to be thinking about.
Oh no. It's like once you start thinking about octopuses, game over.
Really?
Game over. Oh yeah.
I used to feel that way about vaginas. Because it really feels like it's a bit of a casserole down there. I need a map and a Sherpa. I need a Tenzing Norgay.
Go back to the dog. Go back to the dumb, stupid dog.
I just thought it was funny. Funny. I want to clarify. Chicken voice can just suck a bag of dicks. I'm just going to say this. Maybe the thing that your dog, and she had said her dog and cat, she was trying to keep it away from her dog and cat, and I understand that, chicken voice, but maybe don't bait your oven with the thing that makes the dog want to interact with it.
Yeah, Syracuse was too generous with this because I believe he said, I understand small kitchen places, you need to put
we did
stuff.
That. My family kept stuff in the oven.
But
nothing flammable. Sorry, inflammable.
You put stuff in the oven that would go in the oven when it was in use, right?
Stuff that had been ruggedized for the difficult environment of heat.
Exactly.
Unlike, say, a book.
Yes. And obviously,
cookies burn. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people might be saying, chips can go in an oven, cookies can, whatever. But the story isn't clear, at least.
Well, even if they weren't inflammable, Alex, why would you? It still feels like you're baiting a trap. Even if you were putting in something that was, I don't know, maybe it's a pan the dog likes to lick. I still wouldn't put anything in there that interests the animals. That's me.
No, no.
Could you put it in like a high cabinet or something? You know?
Yes. And I should show Syracuse a photograph of my kitchen because I'm like, why are you defending this woman? Especially because we see a photograph, a video of her kitchen, in fact.
Say in advance, hey, John, email Alex, not me.
Yes, John, I hope you're listening. Because
my job, it turns out, is not to do podcasts, but mainly to pass along messages from one of my co-hosts to another. I've come to realize
that's why I'm saying it here. That's why I'm saying it here. And to text both of you. But I wanted to share something very upsetting with you and our audience, and hopefully John. I was listening to that delightful episode of Wreck Diffs.
Wasn't that a good one? Did you like my sunburn trauma story? Wasn't that good?
No, it was sad.
Does that help you better understand my relationship with heat and sun?
Yes. Well, I thought that I had, but this made me understand even more how traumatic, traumatic the beach is.
It's the then make you feel bad and then not cop to how you made me feel bad about it.
Yes.
That's the Bessel van der Kolk part, I feel like.
I have a,
it's one thing to have an anvil fall on your head. And it's another thing, like in a cartoon, and another thing for everybody around you to go, well, it's your fault that you didn't enjoy the anvil falling on your head. Everybody else likes everybody else likes Anvil Day.
It's like
did he retire Anvil Day Lewis? Is he out?
I don't know who the Anvil.
Yeah, he's back. He's coming back.
Anvil Day.
Anvil Day Lewis. He's coming back. He's coming back to acting after 6 years away.
Is he going to be John Wilkes Booth?
No, he's going to do the follow-up. My right foot. Are you done talking to John?
I thought that it might have been real for a second. No, now I'm talking
He's really
to you.
Good. I like him in Lincoln. I like him in the Daniel Plainview movie. I like him in a lot of movies. I've never seen My Beautiful Laundrette.
Neither have I. I'm not as familiar with Anvil's work.
He plays a young gay man in London in 1985 or 6.
Hey, John. Hey, Merlin. You created
a
domestic situation in the Cox household.
I created a domestic situation in the Cox house.
Yes.
Do you want me to send some kind of special services over to interview people?
My spouse keeps.
I can show you on the Indigo Girls doll where they touched you.
No, it's not fun. Oh.
Was it closer to fine or further to fine? Closer to fine, further to fine. Question 1. Have you recently seen A Doctor of Divinity?
Oh, I've watched too many Epstein documentaries for that.
Oh, did you watch Filthy Rich?
How
much do you love the Farmer Sisters? How much do you adore the Farmer Sisters?
Yeah.
She's such a good painter. Holy fucking shit, she's a good painter.
God.
And then her little sister's so sweet, and she's stuck on an island with those dinglings. You know what I mean? Fight, flight, or freeze.
Yeah, no, you are hitting all of the points of what I am calling Alex's weekly revelations that are inspired by you.
Ooh,
and this
segment.
Includes listen, I'm gonna be annoying and say we are keeping it for the after show so that you have energy for the after show, and because I want to hear about your manual. My weekly revelations that you inspired.
Oh, thank you,
and
Alex. Can I just say,
documentaries.
One of us will cut this out, but I as much as I think I've said it to you as recently as yesterday afternoon, I really don't understand your attention. I'm very grateful for your friendship, and I never wanted to go unsaid how much I deeply appreciate that you like what I do. You're like one of the few people that likes it, and it makes me really happy. So thank you.
You're
now,
welcome.
What do you say? You say not a problem.
Welcome. Not a.
Okie dokie.
No problem.
What are the other things you're not supposed to say? I got the manual here in front of me. Other things you're not supposed to say. Let's see, creamer filled with half and half, wash towels separately. Boy, there's a lot of stuff about washing machines in here. You know the word camera only appears in here twice? And they're both about consumer cameras. They never mention that there's cameras everywhere watching you and watching everybody else. I guess maybe that's already...
Exactly. Yeah. That's what my thing was. I'm like, oh, so we're not going to go into the charging aspect of that? Like, is that another staff? Is there another manual?
Charging the cameras.
Yeah, like...
I bet they're hardwired.
But what happens when, there's a perfect storm and something is taken
like an
out?
EMP?
Yeah.
Maybe it's an EMP plus some Girl Scouts broke down nearby. It's the kind of thing where you're like, oh no, what the heck? Maybe
God.
that caused the bus crash.
No.
Want a merit badge? Mr. Epstein, Mr. Epstein, Mr. Oh, you don't say. Here's what you don't say. You don't say, yeah, sure, no problem, you bet. Gotcha, right, I don't know. Right, that's what Harry Dean Stanton says in Alien. Every time he says something, you say right. Right.
You created another household situation with
Did you watch it?
Alien.
Did you watch it?
Watched the first episode, loved it, and
Oh,
started
of
the
Alien
second.
Earth.
Yes,
How much
of
do you love
Alien Earth.
Wendy? Oh my God, isn't Wendy amazing?
Absolutely.
Every one of those people
Phenomenal
is
show.
so good at playing a little kid in an adult body.
Yes.
It
When
gets
they're all
so
sitting
easy
on
to
the
fuck that
floor.
up. But those
Oh,
two guys,
yes.
the the Indian guy who ends up in an Indian body and the black guy who ends up in a black, those two guys, the two of them together are so awesome. And they all have funny Peter Pan names.
When
How cute
I
is Nibs? Can you
saw,
see why Nibs is my girlfriend?
I
Girl with the big
don't
lips and
remember
the
which
eyes?
one that is.
The red-haired
Okay,
one?
okay. I've only seen the first episode, so I'm
sorry.
not yet
So we got
familiar.
Alex's. We still got a lot to talk about from the first 30 seconds. We've got Alex's
Yes.
revelations in the after show.
Yes.
We'd appreciate your support if you go to giveusyourfuckingmoney.com. You can give us a little money, which we could really use, and listen to the after show, which is, I think, usually pretty fun. And then what is it? Also domestics. I'm causing domestics,
Yeah. And
and
with
we're saving that for the after show too.
Alien, scary. Don't like watching.
Oh my fucking God! I just watched episode 5 last night. Oh my
What?
goodness! I like I like the show, and B, I won't hear a word against it. You were okay. So let me go back on the stack a little bit. Anvil Day Lewis, the dog. Oh, did you want to pick back up at the dog? Are we good with that?
Just
Well, what I'm trying to say
my-
is, look, life is complicated. Let's take that as read, but like, don't blame your sweet precious dog. And so a perfect storm can be like these three. I think of it when one says perfect storm and you really mean it. I think of that as, this is my phrase for this: 3 at least unusual and perhaps anomalous events that end up having I don't know what the opposite of synergy is, have a synergistic reaction. So I did 3 dumb tech things. One, I did put 26.
Go on.
I put 26 on. It's been on everything except my main computer, and now it's on my main computer.
Ooh,
Okay.
my condolences.
I'm trying. No. That's all fine. I don't think that's a problem. So I'm trying to make myself use Spotlight more, and it's frustrating me a little bit. The other thing was I just updated the wonderful Audio Hijack app. I just said this to John Syracuse a minute ago. And I can't talk about betas when they're in beta, but I will say that there's not a company. I mean, there's a lot of companies and people in the Mac and Apple community that I revere. I mean, obviously people like Greg from Agile Tortoise are high up there. There's a lot of people, but like nobody fucking like hustles like Rogue Amoeba to keep up or has more need to hustle to like keep up with Apple's bullshit.
Yes.
And because of what they do, and there's stuff in like upcoming releases where they've gotten around some crazy Apple stupidity that I'm very excited about. So, okay, I did that. Now here's the other thing. Here's the third thing, and this is where I'm very concerned, is I touched my USB pre.
Oh no.
Now, what do we know about Merlin? Well, there's some things you know about me.
I mean, you tend to touch yourself, but not.
But when I think about you, I touch myself. I don't want anybody else,
Good
Alex.
song. It's yes. Reference and I acknowledged. What happened to the pre?
Well, all 3 of my primary hosts that I talk to come across at extremely different volumes. And I usually just don't sweat it. And I usually my audio is very low in the amount that's in the final mix. And so I reached down and I turned a knob. There's 5 knobs on this thing, 3 big ones, 2 little ones. And the 2 little ones, I can never remember which is which. So I just grabbed one and changed. As it turned out, that's the output one, which because of my dip switch configuration, fudge bucket, because of my dip switch configuration, don't do nothing. But I've been trying to work on my pre-PC, which I'm always, I don't know if you know this, Alex, I'm always dealing with my pre-PC. Because that's how
I
much
didn't know that.
Well,
I knew
pre-PC
you
is
thought
how
about it a
much,
lot.
it's a dial that if you turn it all the way to the left, all you'll hear in your cans, me get this right. I think it's dial all the way to the left. All you'll hear is yourself. Dial all the way to the right. Think of it as a crossfader, almost like a real-time crossfader between the two sides of the conversation. And that's just to get the mix of what you're hearing right. You've muted. Are you okay?
Oh, I am. I wasn't doing a bit. Zoom updated, and now I'm really loud, and I can hear things
No
outside.
shit.
This is boring. Yeah,
You know the
because
problem with
normally
calling
I am
something.
loud.
Well, you're a lot louder, and I like it.
Yeah.
So
Is
I got
it?
change. Now I
Would
got
it
to change
be
my pre-PC again. Okay, I'm gonna do this a little bit
here?
more
I'm
toward me.
gonna.
Hey everybody,
Is this
welcome to
okay?
255. It's a weekly challenge podcast where people don't
Goodness.
really understand how to do their job, such as it is.
The I was proud of myself though because you texted me like need more time. I'm like nope, I'm good to go. And I even set. I used Zoom and Audio Hijack earlier today, and I fiddled with some
Yeah.
stuff, and I was very it was very exciting because I have the same issue with loopback, which is it's not audio hi or sorry, not audio.
Rogue Amoeba.
It's not Rogue Amoeba's fault. I
But
just
loopback,
mess with audio.
and sound source and all these other things, they're incredibly useful. Especially those two, though, can introduce things that can be difficult to track down through no fault of theirs. But just because what would you call it? I don't know, the signal path or whatever, just because the complexity of going from, in my case, this microphone to, a recording, it touches a lot of pieces.
It does. And
You may not even know that if you never, oh God, I hope you never have to open that stupid MIDI sound settings thing, but you realize like, oh, there's a lot going on under the hood here. It's like trying to fix your own engine or something.
which is why Paul, I know sometimes you're here, Paul.
Love that guy.
I'm really
Love that
sweaty
guy.
today for all the computer boys, I guess. But I I was early and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna open Zoom and be right on time because I know Merlin likes that. And then suddenly,
Well, you do it because it's a sign of character, not because I like it.
because to you it's very much a sign of character, and I love
That's
and
why you do it,
respect
because you know it's a sign
and
of character.
because I know it's a sign of character, sign of character, sign of character.
Character of the
And
future.
then even
Need to
though
sleep.
if you I was genuinely
So it pops up. You got
this is
Zoom.
so
And Zoom, what
dumb.
does Zoom
This
say
is
to you?
so
Zoom
dumb.
says you need a
Hey,
bigger meeting
you
room, and also
no,
update.
it was like you need Zoom needs to update because normally it's like, would you like to update? This is the first time. Nope, need to update. And now it says Zoom Workplace, and I'm really loud, and I'm just I still don't know what 6 or 7 is, but
We'll
I
get
think
that.
I might be there. I might be around there, but anyway, cut that. Hi, this is due by Friday. Go ahead. Merlin.
Next issue. Do you okay, so like when I was coming up, like every time somebody walked up to a microphone, yes, there'd be feedback. But then also they would say something like testing 1 2. Do you have a compulsive thing that you say every time you get ready to use your microphone or to record a show? Do you have something that you compulsively say every time to make sure that your mic is turned on?
I say what I had for breakfast, which is just an
Really?
old radio. Yeah, it's an
You
old
actually
radio
do that?
thing. Yeah, and usually I
That's
don't
usually for
have
getting the level of
breakfast.
a guest who doesn't know how to use a mic.
Well,
Know thyself. That's what Descartes should have said.
oh.
I err, therefore I am.
What do you say when you go up to a mic?
Wanna hear it again?
Really? Yes. Oh, so yeah,
I just
what
know.
I
Here's what
heard
I
is
need. I need to
choo
see these little
choo.
running
Huh.
lights. I need to see these little running lights move,
Yes.
so I can see there's a signal coming in. I go ch. Because as you might know, I mute I can use here that cuts out most but not all of the signal. As anybody who's ever slightly heard me sneeze or hock a loogie, that's because the foot pedal. And it's made by, what's cool is it's like a rat pedal, and it's made by the same people who make rat pedals, which is kind of cool. Rat pedal was the inexpensive distortion box everybody had in high school for guitars.
Pedal. I was actually gonna say that sounds so much cooler than
Oh, it was
the
very cool.
the Oh, this does, holy shit, this looks cool. Was it the, oh, the Chicago Rat Distortion Fuzz Pedal? What the fuck is the,
Well,
oh,
look,
okay,
look. I
well,
think it's
that's
called. I think they're
exciting.
called Proco now, but they used to have two, and now I think it's got three knobs. Look for something like distortion, filter, and volume, maybe.
Yes, there's a number of these.
Yeah,
This is
distortion is the amount of chunk
delightful.
you got in it. Filter is like a sweep of ranges for what gets through, and then volume is how much comes out. Now, a guy I used to play in bands with, which doesn't really adequately credit how different our skill levels were. My friend Steven, who tried out for Foo Fighters, told that wonderful story about trying out
Holy
for Foo
fuck.
Fighters. Find that story.
Where's,
Stephen Fox, Foo
okay.
Fighters is a wonderful story he wrote. And we used to play in. He was in the popular band in town, Flanders, and I was in the cult band Bacon Ray. But we both played in a band called Parachute Pants, where we covered '80s songs. And he would do this thing. I learned about this from Steven. I don't think he invented this, but he would run like two kinds of distortion, where he would have his like Marshall set to a certain level that was like a clean but chonk, and then but he could have like a pedal that he would kick in just for the solo. I always thought that was really smart, and a rat pedal was great for that. You could do a lot with a rat pedal. Boy, this is a terrible episode.
What did you, okay, I am
That wasn't
now,
my main one. I used a really lame distortion pedal called a Boss distortion slash feedback pedal. So on
see, now
Bacon
I
Ray
gotta
recordings, you'll
find.
hear sometimes at the end of a song it goes because I'm faking feedback with my uncostly pedal.
This also looks like a cute
The orange one.
little. Okay, yeah, I know. It's so.
Oh, isn't it beautiful?
That's what the new iPhone might look like.
Hmm.
Oh wait, did you go the? Was that because like is it a holdover from Bacon Ray
No.
days?
What? No, no, no.
Did you do a test 1 2 1 2 because you sang?
Well, I've got a lot of private mind motions or whatever it's called, and like, and there's things that I say. Like, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but I don't. This is something I think probably started on Roderick. But sometimes I'll take my beverage and I'll take a drink. I'll go, and then
Mm.
real heads will know that for whatever reason, sometimes there's a thing that I say after that, which is this. I go, chicka chicka. And what I'm doing there is I'm quoting the Day Bow Bow song from the '80s. Day
Oh,
Bow Bow, chicka chicka.
oh shit! I
Day Bow
actually
Bow.
got it.
Doop, 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 Day Bow Bow. Um, and also that's also something that my mother-in-law used to say sometimes. There's a phrase I've never really exactly specifically known the meaning of, but I think I know. Have you ever heard the phrase traveling music?
No.
I first heard it when Jackie Gleason would. This is how old I am. Jackie Gleason, when he had his variety show, would come out, and Jackie Gleason, he's like one of the biggest comics in TV, and he did, and he'd say, "And away we go." But before he'd say to his band leader, whatever, Martinez, a little traveling music. And that would be the music that he would play to like walk over to the desk. Traveling music, I've heard that as, I don't know if that's true, and I'm going to look it up eventually, but traveling music, but I think there's a version of traveling music, maybe a better term would be interstitial music. And I have a variety of
Okay.
interstitial ticks. One I picked up from my friend Dan. One I picked up from my friend Dan that I think is a direct predecessor of got that, is when Dan was in the middle of doing something or walking from one place to another, go, and I
Hmm.
picked that up, and now I do that. It's a form of traveling music. It's a form of interstitial filler. Do you have things like this, or could you become aware of whether you have things like that? Do you have things you say when you're doing something?
I
Like
mean, we've talked about on the
when I raise
show
the garage door and I go vroom,
Oh
vroom.
yeah, I mean, I obviously scoot scoot, and I do have little song I sing at red lights when people are honking at each other and angry, but I don't have like
You sing it to yourself out loud.
I am like one car goes, next car goes, one car goes, next car goes,
Whoa,
and
whoa,
that
whoa,
is
whoa,
my
whoa, whoa, whoa,
little
whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's hear that again, please.
one car goes, next car goes, one car goes, next car goes,
Like at a stop sign.
because at a yes, and
Yeah.
when there's traffic and like everybody is angry, but I am not participating yet
It's
in
kind of
the
self-soothing.
stopping and it is, and I'm putting it out into the world. Like it's okay. We know the rules of the road. Everything's fine.
There's a
Because
song I
I
used to
don't
sing to
like
my
driving.
baby that used to make my baby laugh a little bit, and that's sometimes I'll do that when I'm in an automobile, and I would say the baby would do something, the youngster would do something, and I'd say, "You're a bad person, not a good person. You're a bad," and the baby would go, ah, 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 laugh. And I sometimes sing that song at people who are driving automobiles. I say,
This is a trend, I think, where people
"We're trending."
sing yes, there's a new trend, and by new I mean as long as I've noticed it,
The
where
world is young.
when you are upset with someone or something and they can't understand, you just sing at it or say like just sometimes with my cats
Doesn't
I
kill you,
say
makes you
horrible
stronger. Sing
things.
a little
Hmm.
louder.
I'm just like, oh,
You need to put
you're
some clothes on. Isn't that what he's singing? Is it Pink or Kelly Clarkson? What's the song he's singing at the Korean spa? Chris Fleming when he's naked at the
I
spa.
don't remember.
Makes you stronger than a little longer. What does it? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Sing a little louder.
Yeah.
Those shirts are for babies. He was on Conan this week, and it was really really good.
I watched it
It
and
is. Don't you? I wish Conan would find a way to sometimes talk a little bit less about himself. But I have two thoughts on this. First of all, Chris Fleming is fucking. You know what? I will stand alone on this. I think he's one of the funniest people alive, and I think he's one of the most interesting funny people alive. I love how squirmy and wormy he is. And I thought he was great on there. I thought he was very funny. So the big point one, I love how much Conan obviously seems to like love him. But I also I wonder, because I feel like I've seen this happen before with Conan. Do you think maybe Chris Fleming's going to do some kind of Coco project?
yes,
I don't know why I
absolutely.
think that, but I do. It felt like almost like not a tryout or something, but the kind of thing you'd see right before they announced that he's going to have a Ted Danson show.
Oh, yeah, I got the vibe of not a tryout, but
Did
it
you
is
notice
in
how
the
often I've
works.
never heard him speak so much in what well, I won't say it's his natural speaking voice, but I've never heard him speak quite so much. He has actually a very low voice, a really good radio voice, Chris Fleming.
Yes.
And I never really thought about that before.
Yeah, it's not that it makes
Dave,
me want Dude.
David, put seashells on the doorknobs. Company's coming.
It's not that
Throw it away. We can't have people know that we sat. Oh, the little pony shoe fell off. Remember when the bottom falls off the bar stool? You told the grain goes this way. Oh, the little pony
oh,
shoe fell off. Anyways, so
I
you think that what's your prediction? Have you a prediction?
I believe that Conan got the one of his stand-up shows on Peacock, and it was alluded to that
What do you say?
Conan
I'm
tried
sorry. Got?
to
Oh, you think he got him? Chris Fleming Hell
not got, but you know, like
put
NBC.
in a
Once
good
you're
word,
friends with
maybe.
NBC, like yeah, because Chris Fleming didn't really blow up, and I still don't know
He's
how.
still so cult. I can't believe how.
Yes,
I mean, it's just weird. Okay, so first of all, I want to take it as read. Chris Fleming's not for everybody, and part of what makes him special to me is how fucking weird he is. But this interview in particular, like I think we've talked before about how he has funny word choices or flubs that he makes sometimes. Like, why did he say night watchman instead of security guard? And like, Mulaney doesn't do that. Well, I think he may be making up a fair amount more on stage than I'd realized. Like, I
what
think
he
this is very one
yeah.
woman show. I think that's worked out ahead of time. Obviously, the people you want to be poly aren't poly. That's all like ahead of time. But I think he's got. It seems like he's got shapes for bits, but then he fills it in the moment, adding that zest of like anxiety on stage to make it very Chris Fleming.
Yeah, what I hadn't realized was how his heightened character is fueled by his anxiety, which is hard to, and you think like, well, yeah, that's a stand-up thing. Like people get anxious and then it just accelerates. But no, it really is like
People who do that for a long time,
with
though,
Fleming.
professionals don't generally rely on that to have that be there. Like
Right.
Bobcat Goldthwait's not actually like that. I mean, I don't know how much you know about but Bobcat Goldthwait now, he came up. I first became aware of him around the time I became aware of, say, Sam Kinison and Stephen Wright, who like Mitch Hedberg, like have a character, like have a bit,
Hmm.
And Bobcat Goldthwait, he was always like the super keyed up guy, or like Emo Phillips. I doubt Emo Phillips is like that if you go out for Chinese food.
I do not know who that is, but I
Oh, he's
do.
like he's like a sort of like you could see him as being slightly Pee Wee-esque. He's a kind of a guy who talks like this. Amo Phillips,
Oh, the haircut guy.
haircut guy.
Yeah, the haircut guy.
So you
What
think he's,
Chris?
as a fan of Chris, you think he's already like kind of like pulling for the guy?
I hope so because, like, this is like you said, he's relatively cultish still, but it's at this point where, like, yeah, this cult comedian Chris Fleming is awesome, but everyone I know knows who he is and enjoys him. Like
I think
it's
people know. There are people who know Gail, especially, right? I mean, at least
really.
among like internet people, because he wouldn't you put him in that? I didn't know this at the time, but he like started off most. He says he did stand up starting in high school, which I'm guessing was a theater school.
Mm-hmm.
But he in Stowe, Mass. But he don't be creepy. But he said he started doing stand up in high school, right? And where did he like wasn't like weird enough. But like I feel like it's weird. Like as much as he is
That's how
sort
you
of
know it was a theater school. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
that's what
okay,
made me
yes.
think that exactly. But like like and I say don't say this to diminish Nate Bargatze or however you pronounce it, but like he should be as big as that guy. Like he should be as big as maybe I don't know, like a Jim Gaffigan or something. Like because he's got in the same way that like, and I'm not trying to just pin him as being a queer performer, but like if you look at people, especially in music or like
Oh
people
no,
who've been on
absolutely. He
RuPaul's
even
Drag
said
Race, there are people like he could be like a Billy Porter level of fame, definitely. I feel like.
they kind of addressed this on or in the interview where he's like, I mean, yeah, now I just I can't make Philly like me, and
Throw batteries at
he
you.
the
That's true,
I wonder how many
In the
batteries
70s and the
he.
70s, the Philadelphia, they used to throw batteries at players on the field.
Wait, that's not
That's a true
a
story. People in
that.
Pittsburgh would throw a D-cell battery at Dave Concepcion. Hey, no es bueno.
Battery throwing Pittsburgh. Okay.
You got your batteries? We're going to the game.
The
You got your batteries?
the way that Chris Fleming at least has talked about performing and growing his audience and when he decides to retire bits. I wish I remember where this was, but he talked about like ending Gale and focusing
Where's
more on,
Gail?
yeah,
Banging with
like
their
there was
elbows.
the
Where's the new Gail?
because I just knew
I recently found out. As a lot of you know, I create things for YouTube. I just found out I'm a huge problem. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm obsessed with it. Go ahead.
well these That's, I knew of him through Gale, but had not seen any of his stand-up stuff until you introduced me
Probably through
to
that Chris
him.
Fleming Hell thing on Peacock.
I think it was hell, and then I
And so, just to drop
turned
the bit for a minute,
to.
I'm always bugging you because we don't have the same memory or we don't watch the same media things as much. But like, I'm always razzing you because like I when I saw Chris Fleming Hell, and then saw, I think there's a colon in there, and then saw Show Pig on YouTube. Like I was just like, this is for me. I have to say, it was like when I saw Naked Babies. When the first time I saw very good improv in person was Rob Corddry and his group Naked Babies. And even though I was a man in my late 30s at that point, I was like, it's like one of those stories you hear, like a Fableman's type situation where I was like, oh my God, this can be so special if you know, or like, oh man, I'm watching something that is and that's how I felt. The Tom Fat Cat stuff. Remember where he goes and meets or where there's a new day of the week they want him to try and promote. And then, of course, the Theater Bobbers,
Which is
the
my favorite.
you can Daddy's got to get his smooches. With those Twizzler pull-on peels, you could dock a boat. Look at my pull-on peels.
Oh God!
Wait, does the president of the airline doing the commercial? Travel is what makes us human. You guys, that's from the one.
Show
That's in Hell, and he's talking about the videos you watch where like they have actors they're on a plane and they show you the pre-flight video and here's how to put on your mask and they always show. That's true. I've always thought this. Then they show all these, like, especially when they had that redhead on Delta. Woof. I used to love to fly in at shows. And but then there's one part at the end where there'll be like an old man sitting at a desk, and it's always jarring. It's not jarring that he's like not a professional per se. It's jarring that the tone of this whole thing has been so consistent. Like, here's our flight stuff. It's very much about branding in some ways. Like, remember the Virgin America videos where the nun has brought a Linksys router on the plane, the animation, like those are very heavy, like, branding opportunities in some ways. The redhead in Delta, like, that was a branding opportunity, but it always has to end with this fucking mummy sitting at a desk going, "Thank you for choosing United. We happy blah blah."
I wonder.
Help me to smile.
I don't actually wonder. I've only thought about it once because I don't usually fly United, but it was so jarring that I'm like, is this the new way they get us to pay attention? Because, we're not looking
the redhead
at the
or other
belts.
ones. Virgin America used to have like a whole dance routine. They had, remember, like... They had like
I remember hearing about
Virgin America.
I
remember the early Virgin ones were an animation that was completely delightful, and then they did one that was just a full-on like dance. The entire video was a complicated dance routine with like, and there's a woman in it who's like a what's that word? Where you stretch your body. You're not a gymnast, but a contortionist.
Oh,
there's a contortionist woman in it that's very memorable. Anyways,
why does this exist? Was this the like I think I'm more cynical and less excited about this than you. Well, because it's gone now, right? It's all Alaskan or blue.
What?
Or.
Do you understand that events in the past don't disappear just because they aren't available anymore?
Well,
you still had that experience.
It's
just
I know.
that you're young and you don't know things.
I agree. Well,
you're gonna be 35
today,
this week. I think I saw. Is today your birthday?
Today's my birthday.
Today's your birthday.
Yes.
Fuck
I'm going
me.
to.
Fuck me. I'm not gonna get you a present, but I got the reminder 2 days ago, and I forgot to say something. Happy birthday, Alex. I did prepare this song for you. Okay, everybody. No, there's no song. There's no song.
Okay. Good. Well,
when you came from a vagina such a long, long time ago, 35 years, 35 beers, and...
Oh, boy. This is
good
not something
improv.
I am... Guys, I'm sorry, but after show. I have a question for you because I received something, and...
Do you want to know about
I don't know
sixes
if you
and sevens?
sent it to me. And
do you want to know about sixes and sevens, and we'll close it?
Hold on. I don't know if you sent it to me, but I know that you know what it is, and I have some questions about it.
Stop.
But please
if
tell
we're
me
doing
about sixes and sevens.
Okay, then let's do this. So what you're telling me, you made a rustling noise.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on a computer right now or your phone?
I am on a computer.
Okay, and you just rustled something around, and you're about to ask me if you think it might be something that I sent to you, and you're asking about that.
I'm not. I'm saying I will be asking you that.
What?
I'm saying a question
What
that I
is
will be
happening?
asking you. I'm at sixes and sevens. I don't
know. That's an old phrase. I want to peg it to probably the 30s. Sixes and sevens, it's usually people. I think I don't know. It might be Cockney rhyming slang. I don't think so, but it's a way of saying. And I'm going to give you in a minute. I'm going to give you a musical number that you'll know it from. Oh, it's a very long title. It's like I'm at the end of my rope. Oh, I'm at sixes and sevens. Sixes. And you never heard that before, right?
Huh. No, I thought it was going to
At
be.
sixes and sevens. Oh, here we go. Oh shit! This is great. This is going to be a thing. I can already tell from the length of this internet science page that this is going to be a thing. It took me too long to realize. At sixes and sevens is an English, as in the country, English or the language. Mouse over. English language. English language idiom used to describe a condition of confusion or disarray. It's not known for certain, but the most likely origin of the phrase is the dice game Hazard, a more complicated version of craps. Oh,
This
seven
is
come
a
11 get you
fun
nothing.
intro. Oh, huh, huh.
Yeah.
I don't know why this is exciting to me. Well, I know why it's exciting
Well,
because
because you just learned
I
something and that
thought,
tickles your brain.
well, yeah, because just one of those weird little things. It's like I think things like this make me feel the way I felt when I could finally get back from like I'd be out and listening to music on my iPod and oh god, this does make me sound old. And I'd be like, I don't know what the lyrics to this are, and it is driving me
I know.
bonkers.
I
And then
know.
I'd go and
Can you
be like,
imagine living in a time when
oh,
you just didn't know what the lyrics to songs were and couldn't find them out?
I mean, I did for a whole like 1 year. It was a dark, dark time.
Then the internet.
Well, I had to be supervised on the internet, so I couldn't look up Green Day lyrics. Otherwise,
Okay, can I give you the song that you might know this from? This
please.
is not that interesting. You know how like in old Broadway songs, especially in like old like Cole Porter songs, there'll be like there's a part that you usually these days you usually don't hear at the beginning of the song, which is kind of like an introduction. Like, most of us are like, if probably one of my all-time favorite songs, certainly one of my favorite American songbook songs, night and day, you are the one. It's only you beneath the moon and under the sun, right? You know that song, Night and Day?
Nope, but it'll be in notes.
You don't know Night and Day by Cole Porter? Okay. Well, it actually, in that case, this is totally ineffective, but it starts like this, like the beat, beat, beat of the tom tom, it's got like an introduction. So like if you listen to the, what's her name? Who's the jazz singer I like?
Ella
If you listen to the Ella
Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald version, she does the beginning. So before we get into the part of the song you might know, I'm gonna just read you this part. It won't be easy. You'll think it's strange when I try to explain how I feel. That I still need your love after all that I've done. You won't believe me. All you will see is a girl you once knew, although she's dressed up to the nines at sixes and sevens with you.
Oh,
Don't cry for me,
oh,
Argentina. The
that was
truth
like
is I
the mountain
never left you.
goats. Damn, that is
Although she's
that.
dressed up to the nines at sixes and sevens with you.
Oh, that's so good.
Now, is that Andrew Lloyd Webber? Did the music for that, right?
I'm
But
not
it's probably Tim Rice. I
sure.
bet Tim Rice did the lyrics, right? He's the Bernie Taupin of that operation, right?
I bet that was funny, but I don't know the
Bernie
Bernie
Taupin is the guy who wrote all the
Hopper.
lyrics for Elton John.
I didn't
Oh,
know
did you?
that.
Okay, now were you aware of that? Did you know that Elton John is not the lyricist for his best known
Nope.
songs?
No,
Just
that's
okay. Well, then let me
huh.
ask you. Do you like the singer Elton John?
Yeah, I don't like love him, but I'm like, yay, Elton
Well,
John.
it's funny because this doesn't make me like Elton John less, but like the truth is I never met you. Not in my wild days. Oh, sorry, now I'm doing it now. No, but like Bernie Taupin. So like Bernie Taupin. So like you hear this song, and it's like you think it's an Elton John song, right? Well,
Hmm.
let's just read this. I'm not going to sing it, but let's just read this and think about these lyrics. So goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow, back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny-backed toad. I finally decided my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. Some fucking great lyrics.
And pretty gay too, which is why, or at least,
What do you think you'll do then? I bet they shoot down the plane. It'll take you a couple of vodka and tonics to set you on your feet again, or as they say again. Maybe you'll get a replacement. There's plenty like me to be found. Mongrels who ain't got a penny, sniffing for tidbits like you on the ground. Isn't that a great lyric?
I'm kind of shocked.
So what you
it's not that I don't like
no,
it.
but you just never thought about it, right? It just seemed like it's an Elton John song. Elton John obviously wrote the lyrics, right?
No, I did sort of think about. Yeah, I would think like, oh, I wonder what inspired this, especially because Elton John was one of the first,
Tiny
gay
Dancer is
men
about
that I
Tiny
knew.
Dancer is about a lady friend of Bernie's.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Tim McGraw.
This is. I don't.
Oh my God! Look at the. Oh, I'm sorry. All I want to do is talk about these. Count the headlights on the highway. Okay. At 6s and 7s with you. So that's why I'm at 6s and 7s. Perfect storm. The first 30 seconds or so of this terrible, terrible episode ended up really, really kind of directing the rest of the episode up till now, I think. Is there anything we missed? It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
It's a birthday.
Cha-cha-cha. Tech, 6s and 7s, dog, Anvil Day. Alex's Revelations. And Causing Domestic Things. That'll be in the after show.
Yes, and a gift or
oh shit! Is that after show too?
Yes, that is after show. I'm just curious about what you did for this challenge, if you did anything, or I mean, it's a big Jeffrey Epstein day too. I
just caught out of the side of my corner of my side of my eye that more stuff was released, but there's nothing interesting. Is that right? Is that what you're talking about?
I saw speculation yesterday that it wouldn't be interesting, but then a bunch of stuff happened yesterday, and that
what happened
talk
yesterday?
about petering out.
Because of the families talking to Congress, or from what?
Oh, no, because of the whole Trump being like, yeah, we're going to send the National Guard to Chicago.
Right.
So people
Pritzker
following...
did it. Pritzker's response to that was really sane.
As I've said many, many times here, on other shows, in my daily life, I think it is really genuinely like unhealthy to have like a stan situation with politicians, but it's really hard for me not to really like JB Pritzker a lot.
Well, I mean, he I don't want to talk about politics. I think he did a very good job in a way that Gavin Newsom is not. Like, sure, they're all obviously going to run for president. Let's take that as read, or they're going to try to run for president. But here's the thing: like, he was actually laying something out in a way that is sensible and above the bullshit. In a way, it's very difficult to be above the bullshit. Whereas Gavin's like embraced that now, and he's got bits. And it's like, I am scared shitless about what is going to happen to this state because now of, making us a target.
That's my, for years, including with you, I haven't heard anything from friends in California except, oh God, Gavin Newsom.
Well, he's a politician. That's what he does.
Yeah. And I don't like saying I hate people, but I will say I hate this bit. I like if there was zero.
Oh, you don't like the. Well, at least Trump will be good for comedy, right?
I hate it.
So you don't like his saucy. I think whoever's writing them is doing a good job. I don't think it's effective.
Oh, disagree. No.
Well, I think he gets the tone. They get the tone right, don't you think? I don't see them except when they are discussed on TV shows. So I can't speak to that. You might be seeing a lot of that, a lot more of that because you are so underwater with the internet.
I am not. I'm so
You're
not.
upset. You and
fact,
Max were obsessed with whether Trump is dead, and yet you weren't watching his
I
insane
wasn't.
press conference.
Hold on.
I was on a loud bus.
I wasn't. Yes, I was on. I was. Oh,
I don't
gosh.
understand. I will
Just
never
because
understand your
in a-
attention. Never understand
Oh,
it.
why? My attention
Because
span
you
is
get
I
incredibly
was on
worked
the
up about very,
internet.
very obscure things that have very little impact on things that are real, and then but when actually something real is happening, you seem very uninterested in it.
I was interested. I had
You're
to
on a loud
go-
bus.
I was on a bus. Yes, I don't know
So
how. I was watching the press. Excuse me. I was watching the press conference, and then I had to switch from a train to a bus.
it's okay.
The
It's
bus
not,
was loud.
all right. It's not that good. Let's drop the bit. I'm sorry.
I know it's not that good, but that is why my attention seems to wander because I wandered the city.
No, it's not. It's
but
not.
then,
That's not why. But I take your point.
but then I
Just because something happened
like-
doesn't mean it shows something.
Wait, yes, that is literally showing where my attention is going.
And
This
so,
is-
and so, as ever, if I can produce a transcript, I can prove something. But the pattern of behavior over 5, 6, 7, 8 years is not germane so much as something that happened one afternoon.
Wait, what do you?
I'm at 6s and 7s with
Because of
you,
my
Blue Jean
intention,
Baby, LA Lady. The challenge this week, inspired by events in the news, it came out a while back that there was a manual that had been prepared for employees of Jeffrey Epstein. The copy that we have is specific to the Palm Beach home that he had, and it's silly and it's fun. And you know what? It doesn't have stuff in it that'll be too upsetting in terms of like the stuff that he's famous for, but it is pretty wild. It's called Household Manual. And it is it 50 pages, 58-page manual that I think is actually very well done for what it
Yes.
is. I mean, I've read a lot
That's
of
what
concert
grabbed
writers.
me.
I've read a lot
Yeah.
of concert writers that aren't this good, but somebody spent some time with this. I'm sure Ghislaine was running it, but I think somebody else must have written it because it doesn't have dumb errors. Like it's well done and thorough.
Based on
You explain how to run the
recent
house, how to deal with
documentaries.
people. I just want to get done with this one framing part. List of contents, and this is actually one thing I'd like to focus on. The sections include introduction, grooming and guest relations, proper language. A ton of it is basically just about the most quotidian running of the house. Like you would give this to somebody who's a new hire, like and say like, okay, your boss says, okay, you have to go prepare Miss Maxwell's bathroom for a visit, and like you have a very specific like. I think really smart list of like here's what I want you to do. And I'll just say this because you love talking about labor and materialist motivations. You know, if you're going to have an employee and have expectations of them, make it clear what the expectations are. Like lay it out. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a really good idea. I mean, it seems pedantic probably to some people, but like, I think a lot of problem inside of, I'm not saying Ghislaine Maxwell should do a TED Talk, although she probably eventually will, but she should at least be at Y Combinator.
She did a TED Talk.
TED
Do you
Talk.
know this?
What?
She did a TED Talk. She's done
No.
a TED Talk.
Fuck
Yes,
you. I bet
about
it's
the
TEDx.
oceans. I don't think so because it was before. It was like when they were popular. Notes. But
I didn't know
she's
that.
done a TED Talk.
That's cool.
Yep.
But anyway,
so the
and it's a little
reason-
detailed and the blah, blah, blah. And so the challenge this week was, and I didn't do this challenge anywhere near the way I wanted to. But the idea was, if you're going to create a manual in any way, like, cause I talked about stuff like how to use our stereo, like guys, one of you out there, maybe you don't now because you're fucking fancy and don't tell the truth anymore. But like, have you ever lived in a house where it's almost impossible to unlock the door unless you know the trick?
Mm-hmm.
I've lived in a lot of places where it's almost impossible to unlock the door unless you know the trick. And I can't tell you why your house was like that. I can tell you why my houses have been like that. Some of it is, hey, did you know the door locks automatically, so don't lock yourself out? Hey, did you know that it's an old key made from old copies of old copies? So you're going to have to push it in and then pull back and then turn gently but firmly? What's that mean? You'll figure it out, but now you know the trick. Right? Or that worst case scenario, if you need to break into the house, here's the best way to break into the house. Everybody knows these things. But what if you had to like talk about the secret life of your household? What if you had to talk about the secret life of your household in a way that would be sensible to somebody who didn't know you? And I think it's a fascinating idea. Over. Did I lose you? Oh,
Hello,
fuck.
hello,
Oh, there you
hello.
are. Hi, hi,
Oh,
hi, hi.
there you are. Oh, if you didn't hear anything, then
You got
that's
lost in your
good.
workplace.
It is. I was on a bus.
It's a
The
workplace. Not my workplace. It's where I record podcasts. Idiots.
I. It's my.
No. I'm not going to edit this, but I just said that like I think there is something sensible to like. Well, on the one hand, like if you've got people who work for you, fucking tell them what you want done. Like say it and like explain. Like don't just have vague things that you tell people. But also, I am also just very intrigued in a non-Epstein way or an Epstein adjacent way about how you communicate the secret complexities of living where you live. And I don't know if that's where you want to go with this, but between me and you, I have a feeling, and we don't have to go into personal things, but I feel like between me and you, like we could come up with some pretty wild, non-obvious stuff about how to deal with me and how to deal with my house.
Yes, and
What about parking? If
you
somebody came over to your house, would they
mentioned.
know where to park?
No, I mean
Are
it's in
there
the
places though where they
manual.
absolutely shouldn't park, for example?
Yep,
And
yep,
is that
yep.
obvious? Is it obvious that this area, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the dumbest thing
Mm-hmm.
in the world. Well, why would that be difficult? Oh, God, grow up. I think there's so many people in the with the chicken voice that I think really do just live in an upscale suburb.
Yes. Yeah, I got nothing else. Yes.
But isn't it galling? Like how many people are like, well, why don't you just put in a 220 there?
um,
I'm like, okay, why don't I just do that?
I
Yeah, okay. I'll just get
I
a
mean,
dryer and put in a 220. Put in a 220 in my house built in 1928. I'll just do that. I'll do that. I'll take care of that. I'll do it this weekend.
well, that's why I need actually I need like a one car goes next car goes little song about when people tell me to do something, not even something to tell me to do something costly, but
Why
to
don't you
do
just?
something, yeah, like a why don't you just them like did you like
Have you ever
I'm
known
fine with
another
the
person who's not you?
that's
Why are you
what
so incurious about the experiences of people who aren't precisely you?
that yeah
And so
I
little
like
empathy for anybody who doesn't have your means.
it's very I guess I notice it more now because the why don't you just for the longest time was so much of a computer thing for me and the
Yeah,
people I
why don't
knew,
you just run Linux?
or yeah, or it was someone who was aware or at least semi aware of not their lack of empathy, but they knew that they were out of touch with the world or with, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
have these means and I don't know what it's like for a poor, like not even, it's
Well,
like, I
I
don't
mean,
know what it's like
I
to
don't
live
think
in an
we even
old
have to go
house. It's
that
not
far.
even, yeah, it's not even a
When I would do
money
back to
thing
work, we had a bit
necessarily.
on Back to Work Forever that Dan started where he would talk about fancy San Francisco and like I think also he is a somewhat just an envious person, but he would always make these cracks about fancy San Francisco and making fun of me about like this cosmopolitan place where I live. And it is, I'm very grateful that we live here. I'm very grateful we have a rent controlled house that we can afford. But it's ironic to me when people with 2 to 4 bedroom houses that they mostly own are making fun of renters because of where they live. There's where did I hear this? Was it Chris Fleming? It was somebody. It was something I was watching the other day. Maybe it was Chris Fleming, but somebody saying I'm. Oh no, you know it was what Conan said to Chris. Well, yeah, you're so weird or whatever, but it's cool that you're able to make your rent doing what you do. And the thought that I had that I'm only saying out loud here once and only for the first time and only is yeah, you know it's nice to be able to pay your rent with a job, but it's even nicer to be able to own a house with a job.
Hmm.
And sometimes those conditions are not just about how successful you are, nor are they simply about where you live and the cost of where you live. It's fucking complicated. It's all fucking complicated. And it would be cynical of me to say that living in an upscale suburban neighborhood where you own a house and have so many problems that like are unique to you, tiny boxes made of ticky tacky. You get fucking like so incurious about the experience of other people. And like, it's really not that difficult to understand how some people end up, I'm sorry, this is turning into a privilege thing, but it's kind of amazing. Like, it's not amazing how often then that turns into, well, if you don't like living in a slum, why don't you move to a nice neighborhood? And you're like, well, the clue is kind of in the answer there. First of all, please don't call it a slum. It's a place where I can afford to live. And, you know, and there may be more violent crime than I like, but, you know, maybe there's some kind of reasons why it's like that, including why I live there. And you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not saying that I'm like vastly superior at this to other people, but like, it is people who don't have to explain why their shit is weird have a privilege that is not available to people whose shit is weird. When I was a kid, your shit being weird might be you're divorced. It was divorce and cancer were two. People did not say the word cancer when I was a child. And they very rarely talked about divorce because cancer meant you were going to die and divorce meant you might as well be dead. He said, if you're afraid to fall. No, that's not the lyric. But no, but like, you know what I'm saying? And so like, there were these things where you would just kind of avoid. Well, like, you know, maybe we wouldn't have to talk and have such awkward conversations if you wouldn't make you the person I'm mad at right now, in theory. Like, if you didn't say such preposterous, privileged things all the time, it wouldn't cause weird situations. But the way people frame stuff so often to me, and I'm not trying to just unload on people who are more successful than I am, although they deserve it. But like, have you really thought about, like, if not the lived experience of like somebody who's not you and how their life could be complicated too? A thing I said in the document that I think is one of the best things in the document, and I think about it a lot, that if you truly want to start to understand another person, begin by looking at what was difficult for them as a child that was not difficult for you as a child. So before you criticize or castigate people because they're not how you are, which is obviously the right way, maybe ask what stuff in their life has been difficult in ways that weren't difficult. Like, I couldn't get John to admit, I don't think, that, because I could hear him putting trauma in air quotes about my terrible sunburns. But like, he's got that with boats. Mm-hmm. John knows he can't be on a boat. John knows he doesn't like to travel. I'm not trying to like call him out here or something, and it's not good for the show to argue about this particular kind of thing, but like, and I'm not criticizing him, but I am saying like, that's a good example though, of like, well, of course I never get on boats and fly as little as possible. I have worse seasickness than anyone, worse motion sickness than anybody you've ever met. So let's just take that as, you must take it as read that I'm that way for a reason. Whereas you just never learned to be a beach kid.
Yeah.
He wanted to raise a beach kid. And I tried to kind of move toward that point and say, I get what you're saying. I think that makes a ton of sense. Again, from the document, it's important to fail, but failure need not always be, deadly or, permanent. So like, you can fail easily if you're building a beach kid. I'm not trying to argue with a straw man, let alone John Siracusa here, but like, we all suffer from, right now, a lot of people are very unhappy about a lot of things and don't have communities, don't have resources. Like, there's all kinds of reasons to be unhappy right now. And unfortunately, that makes most of us feel like more than ever, we have every reason to believe that we're put upon and other people are evil. And this is a great time to pull that back a little bit. Did you watch J.D. Nicholson's empathy video about Miss Rachel?
Yes. Oh, wait.
It's on Nebula. Sorry. The whole canceling of Miss Rachel on YouTube.
Are we talking? Did you say Lindsay Ellis?
No, sorry, Lindsay Ellis. I meant Lindsay Ellis. I apologize.
Yes, I did.
But basically just about like, it's a pussy hat video that I happen to really agree with.
No, I highly disagree.
But like, have we just completely lost the ability to understand the value of empathy? Like, if you listen to that Chris Voss guy who's always talking about negotiations, I think he's interesting. I think he's a little overexposed, but I think he's very interesting. Former FBI negotiator, blah, blah. He's a TED Talk kind of guy, but he's an interesting guy and has an interesting book. And one of the things he says in there is like that, something I believe, I'll put this in my words, like empathy doesn't mean you like what somebody's doing. It means you can understand like how it is. Sympathy is different from empathy. You can
Yes.
feel empathy for people and actually use it against them, believe it or not. Isn't that cool? Hey, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
go use your
Oh
empathy to be a
yeah,
dick.
the
So,
worst things I've ever done have been acts of, like,
but like you could
yeah,
say,
like
where you could like try and infer too much empathy and go like, oh, I understand what it's like to be poor. We only had 2 cars. Because by your standard, that's not a big deal. You should have, like normal people, you have 3 or 4 cars and they're really nice. And so, that actually is not helping as much as it sounds like. Understand the material, psychic, emotional conditions of people before you, and I'm probably doing that now to the wonderful people who live in high end suburbs. But I just feel like there is a certain pattern to this that I find really a bummer and largely unnecessary. And anytime you can make a big, broad public statement that ends up making you look smarter, more and more special, like make sure it's not at the expense of somebody who can't swing back the same way and probably doesn't want to or doesn't have the means to swing back.
I will even sort of, I guess, reverse. I don't want it to sound like I am
Reverse chicken problem? Were you
defending
about to say? Were you about to
people.
say reverse chicken problem?
Sort of, because well, because I have a lot of wealthy friends just by the nature of growing up in, like, in a suburb, and having successful friends that I love, except John Syracuse. I'll call out John Syracuse.
Yeah,
No,
I
but
love him.
there is a big difference, and I think the reason that um I don't know, I thought that I would never have wealthy friends because of what you are talking about. And there is a big difference between wealth and empathy. And I've found that I don't know. I'm really lucky that the folks, especially the people that I grew up with, who did do the, like, yeah, I'm gonna do the 5 bedroom suburban house. Jesus Christ, being in a house with 5 bedrooms, like, I'm not doing this to
Well,
be
then, and
like,
then
oh my
you gotta
God, I'm
fill
so
it
poor.
up.
But wow,
But they
five,
also, but then also
wow,
the empathy they
wow.
dispout, the empathy that they may choose to espouse, forgive my saying, still gets to come on their terms. So they can choose to be empathetic about the parts that they think are reasonable. Like, yeah, I am, it makes me, I would really, I'm part of a group. We're activists for trying to reduce violence in slums. But also, I think you shouldn't be able to get anything that tastes good with food stamps.
Yes, yeah, we're okay, yeah, we're talking very much about different
Well,
groups
and
of,
I
like, one
understand.
of
I
the
understand. I think why people would say that. That's the kind of thing my people would say. Hey, I work for a living. I don't give free food. And one of the things that, amongst the many things that sucks about living how we live right now, is like the direction we're moving with this stuff is not salutary, and there's very little to encourage us to think less about tribe and more about society. Like a tribe is your like sort of self-chosen, like this is the group where we all have the same pitchforks, and torches. But like, I don't know. I think there's an incuriosity about emotional growth that's causing a lot of problems right now, I feel like.
I talk about this almost every day with a friend who I don't know, who's probably, who I know is listening to this, and I don't know if they want me to name
No,
them,
but don't know.
but
No.
the like, that's kind of almost like my pet project at this point, of trying to get people who whose biggest problem is that other people's problems make them anxious or uncomfortable, getting them away from
Mm-hmm.
that, like, spiral thinking that does not involve empathy. It involves, like, it's inside, it involves headlines and being upset about whatever
Can you think of any
atrocity.
examples of another people
um
problem that causes them problems or sadness?
the oh, one thing that affects me, trans healthcare getting more expensive. When people tell me about that who have or who have never met a trans person and just love posting about it and like feeling anguish over it, that is just the tiniest like thing where I feel like I can be allowed
It
to be
becomes a
annoyed
kind of
about it.
personal.
Or
It
if
becomes because
someone
I think a
is
title might be coming here, so be ready. I think it might be a kind of personal land acknowledgement,
the yes.
where it's intended to be this very respectful thing about like, hey, listen, I'm not a Native American, but I can imagine how horrible it would be
Mhm.
to have something the size of Florida taken away from your people. But like I say in something that never quite becomes an actual tweet, I the land acknowledgements that I have heard and that I have been to sound like a flex,
Yeah.
like an empathetic, slightly empathetic or sympathetic flex,
Yeah,
where it's like it really it sounds like a rote but respectful victory lap.
right.
Like
And that's why
in
I'm
this very
not
pious and performative way, we want to talk about the Wamapoke people, but ultimately, then let's get on with the meeting. We're keeping the land.
the
You didn't really help anything there, did you? You just mainly kind of made yourself look like an ally to the people you're thanking for the stolen land. And I don't have a strong opinion about that, except with the way that land acknowledged. Whereas, like in New Zealand, when they do it, they're fucking bummed about it. Like people in New Zealand are like, listen, seriously. And even the current, not on YouTube, but the current actual live season of Taskmaster, you get a lot of this from a couple of the people, from one guy's from Pakistan, people with a Maori background. Like it's people over there are like, no, seriously, this was we deliberately, our country made a fucked up quote unquote treaty to like get this stuff, and it's terrible. But when we do it here, and you go, you guys, the Wamapoke were here and had a proud tradition, and we would like to, and you're like, but wait. So wait,
thank
so
you
that
for your
means so now
performative
you're going to go get
shame.
bankers boxes and leave the building? No, you're just really saying thanks for the stolen shit. It's more like you're like driving around in somebody's grandmother's car honking the horn. Sorry, you don't have a car anymore.
Christ.
Monk monk.
The newest thing. See, calling it a thing sounds so shitty, but like the way that the outrage around ice raids is performed by people who I know have never seen an ICE agent, let alone people like me that don't I don't want to say don't need to ever worry, but
Yeah.
my neighbors
They will. They do
down the
eventually. If
street.
history's any indication, they do eventually come for the
Yes,
polls.
exactly. And I'm like, but I'm like, guys, you know that like we're hanging out and it's fucking like it fucking is terrifying that like we're sitting around and talking about how his cousin is like, yeah, he can't come into the city because who like we don't
Then
fucking know.
Pritzker said about
But
how this
also
seems
it's
time to like botch all these celebrations that families are going to have for this certain time of year, and they basically
yep.
said we're going to go exploit that.
Yeah. Yes, it's horrible. And I feel like I am being the person like, guys, they're starving children in Africa. But it's like, no, but like you still got to hang out with your pals, and it just happens that I live in a more diverse area. Like it's just literally that, oh god, there's no good way to talk about this
Well,
other
here's
than
where I'm going to lose friends. Is
being
I'm also
miserable
empathetic
isn't
with
helping.
I'm also empathetic with the other people. Oh, why doesn't Home Depot do more to protect the people in their parking lots? Home Depot has a business to run, and they're run by not very nice people, and it's not a very nice organization. But I don't have time to be mad at everything, and even if I did, I still wouldn't want to do that. I There's a lot more of a lot of things that we could all do about a lot of things. And why don't we? Well, because we've got other shit to do. And on top of the other shit to do, we've got all the stuff we're dealing with because of gestures broadly. And I have a couple of those things that I have to deal with that I'm not going to go into. But like, yeah, my half acre's plenty to keep track of. My stolen half acre. I don't even own it. I rent a half acre. I rent a stolen half acre.
There we go. Thank you.
The renter's land acknowledgement. The saddest land acknowledgement of all. On behalf of my landlord, who has so far mostly observed the law, I would just like to say thank you.
Thank you, Dougie, for providing us with the. We got a fucking fire extinguisher finally.
Oh wow!
But like,
welcome to the 19th century.
I know, but it's like I don't know. Are you like not like you ruin board game night when like.
Who did it? What does that mean?
No, like if you are, let's say you imagine a world where you had friends who were affected by ice raids. You're not going to be like, hey, Hector, we can't do a Pokemon Go this week because I am really, like, I know that you're having a tough time. No more Pokemon Go. And it is the, you said flex in regards to land acknowledgements, which I agree with, but now I see people going, I refer to it as going all Opus Dei, but what is the word that like self-flagellation of like, okay, if people can
like,
see the
like
scars
Sunnis or
and
something.
Feeling sad about this, then it means I am a good person. And I'm like, oh, you're doing a parody of, like, you're becoming the online parody of what the right likes to say, and you're just not a good look.
A lot of people besides us should be asking, and I'm saying just very clearly here, besides us, should be saying, is this good for the show? With the show being America. Okay, let's wrap this up. We got to wrap this up. I did not. When I say I rarely, Alex, I hope you notice this. I rarely say things like I didn't have time to do it. I've just been kind of distracted with a few other things, and as ever, I kind of fell behind. I love this challenge so fucking much, so I'm a little bit frustrated that I didn't do more for it. So like all I have is a few little things, but like it was hard for me to even. Eventually, I was like, hey, stop trying to do a big thing. Zoom in further. But like I still found it really challenging to like get anything that I could share with you that would be amusing. But I got to.
Was it? Okay, so it wasn't it was just God. Hey,
well, there's a lot of angles. There's a lot of angles to it.
Yes, and that's what I think is interesting about not just this, but the manual, in how straightforward it is and how it doesn't it explains very little about why you should be doing anything. And I think in some cases that is a...
Talking about the manual?
Yes, about
right. But I mean, you do it because you work for us.
Well, but yeah.
But like, Elaine's not explaining why she likes secret.
Right.
Ooh,
but I see this when doing documentation where it's like an office guide or whatever, like there's this interesting line between explaining yourself or to like humanize it, because the whole, hey, did you plug in your customer service, can you turn your computer on and off for
blow
me?
the dust out of the plug.
And what was kind of refreshing about this, and what I liked, was like, okay, here are very clear instructions
yes
about what you should do.
Didn't have to explain how to unlock the door. Their lock works.
Right.
Why don't you just get August E-locks? Yeah, I'll do that.
And I can see how someone would find that dehumanizing, but
it's a job. I mean, like,
opposite. But that's the thing. There's no. It's straightforward. You're not asked to like analyze or anticipate. Like, there is a part where it says, "Here's how." It's almost a. I think it was really good about saying how to anticipate the needs versus the vague reads.
Well, and
like,
there's a
I
sort
want
of,
you to be able to.
There's a grace note that's about boundaries. which I like.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, this sounds weird, but no, but I mean, the boundaries thing, I think the boundaries thing is important.
Yeah.
And like, but you can't have good boundaries without communication and clarity. We should stop recording because it's been an hour and a half. My idea to come back to though was to like, it would be funny to just pick one area of the manual and then round robin. Like, we don't have time for this now, but like if we were to, so I made pasted the list of like, proper language, answering the phone, bathroom cleaning. Like, I wonder if we could round robin. It would be fun sometime to round robin a few of these.
Well, we could do that next week.
We could do
Or,
that.
I mean,
The things I wrote down are not useful. There's that section on answering the phone. So I said, we don't have a phone, so answer it any way you want. That goes in the manual.
that's the thing. I don't really have anything in funny. Like, if you need to do something in the bedroom, something has gone terribly wrong, which is a guide for.
Wow, that is very chilling, Alex.
If
you're in the bedroom, it's not a good reason. That sounds like a Jeffrey Epstein thing. Except massage room. Check cameras.
It wasn't. It's not that funny. But this is a real thing in my real guide. Turn hue lamps on and double check if they're set to the desired automated scene as indicated in the Hue app.
Oh, now that's your problem. You take care of that for me. Oh, I like that.
But then I have
stock my seltzer
asterisk.
properly. Save.
Well, yes, later on in the refrigerator refill, there is a top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf.
Oh, I wish you'd write that for my family. Because there's nothing here right now doesn't mean you can put something there.
Yes, and because how refrigerators
work. It's like parking. It's like parking. Just because the space is open doesn't... You know what? Holy shit, that's good. The refrigerator is a parking lot with assigned spaces. There are very few areas where you can just park where and when you feel like it.
Yes. And just like every... oh, that's so good. Never mind.
It is really good. And also, what it leads to also is that book I'm always talking about. Well, other people know way more about this than I do, but most people know about patterns from software development, computer programming. But the OG for patterns that I know of is Christopher
Mythical Mothman?
The Mythical Mothman month.
I love the Mothman.
Yes. It takes 9 months to birth a Mothman, no matter how many women you put on the job. I only have one line that I think is important, and then I'm going to hit the bell. All nurses will dress as waitresses. All waitresses will dress as nurses.
It gets worse the longer you think about it.
Well, it depends. But I mean,
What does it depend on?
Oh, I mean, on your background, like what kind, like, are you a cocktail waitress but like a cocktail waitress can also be a cocktail nurse if you think about it.
I don't want to.
Why?
I don't know.
What if they're wearing some kind of like a stretchy super skin fabric? Would that help? Or maybe like Lycra or something? Some people are into pantyhose. Hooters girls wear pantyhose. Would you be into that? You like pantyhose? Pantyhose?
I want.
All nurses will dress as waitresses. All waitresses will dress as nurses. And I don't think it'll be confusing as long as we're consistent with it.
Exactly.
And stop parking your chili sauce where my seltzer goes. It's not what that's for. I told Syracuse, I almost bought yellow and black tape. I almost bought like the kind of tape you put down in Alien to like show where the loader goes, or like make sure this door area stays clear, like in a warehouse. I'm ready to go fucking Amazon fulfillment on our refrigerator.
That's what we have different gaffers tape. This is not.
I think it would officially be over if my family came home and I had laid down tape in the refrigerator. It would be more effective than a manual.
You married a normal person, or at least.
Oh God, I did. I fucked up. Oh Jesus. But you're not going to be confused because the waitresses will like have those little hanging watches that we like for taking your pulse. You know what I'm saying? And when you see a nurse with a tray, you're not going to be confused.
I mean, you might be. It depends on age, sexuality,
and what kind of nursing
gender.
You're expecting.
Exactly. Yeah. There's so many bells. Conan.
That's a funny word. A funny word
notice?
Is areola. Areola is a funny word. Be a pretty name for a girl. Areola.
No. This can peter out. Conan often peters on the podcast.
I have
and
a
I
handful
noticed that.
of things that are. Here's words I would prefer you not say, or words you not prefer you not use, which you can guess.
Yes.
And then I'm what I want to work on next is a list of words I would enjoy if you can find a way to work into conversation.
All right.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's conceptual. I could go into details, like never say succulent or craveable, obviously.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me personally.
Oh no, a manual for you? Oh, I see what
think
you're
it
saying.
would
You're
be
saying let it
helpful.
begin with me, to be truly empathetic, to be truly sympathetic.
Exactly.
I should set you straight with a manual.
What the frick? You need a fridge acknowledgement. Like, what has been here before?
Oh my
affect
God, that's what my
goes here
family
next.
does. My family, they're doing fridge acknowledgments.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, before I put a very, very short thing that no one uses into the area for very tall things that people do use, thereby taking up useless space, thank you. If I spoke your native language or even knew it, I would say it that way. So I would just say gracias. Gracias por su fridge space. Gracias. And then on with the
I don't know
meeting.
why I'm laughing.
I'm going to talk to the slide. Yeah. Should we stop?
Yes.
Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging in there.
That'll-
An imperfect story. Stopping, stop.